Just seeing how this insurance company out in California can't pay out their Merced County insurance company out there in the wildfire area in California. Apparently, it was only worth 23 million, and the payout is going to look like 64 million dollars, and now they're out of business. Now, I thought the only people that couldn't pay out claims, that's the only ones I've heard of anyway, was a lot of truck brokers that do brokerage for freight around the country, and they're supposed to take out like a $10,000, $5,000 or $10,000 bond when they start out, and they're supposed to continually be covering for as much business as they do, and taking out bonds is being able to pay out, but they'll do the $10,000 bond and do $100,000 in business, and then close down and not pay out a bunch of people. So how big is this kind of business fraud in this country? And how do you check an insurance company to make sure that they're covered, even though they got it covered out there? There's something about the state has some coverage, but that's just like saying, well, we can allow business to not do what they say or not do. We'll just have it covered. What happens if something happens and a bunch of businesses get hit and the state doesn't cover them all, and that's just allowing business to be corrupt, criminal, and so how many businesses around the country or even worldwide can't cover up to what they say, and they just open up, screw people over, and then close down shop? I mean, how big is that around the planet, or basically in the States? How big is it? And why is there not something that covers, that you can look up to? I mean, this happens all the time, that businesses don't know what they're doing, yet they got all this college education, and everybody else, the little people, have to have all their bills paid. But yet, all these people had to pay their insurance. I realize that this company had all their policies bulked out in one area instead of dispersing them out. Even though that, what do they say? Well, you can only have a certain amount of insurance now in certain areas because of coverage. They want to allow a large amount so that company won't go out of business. Oh, man. Yeah. There's nothing to cover. There's nothing that you can check on businesses to make sure that they do what they say. I mean, where's that? Better Business Bureau? Better Business Bureau ain't nothing. At a business, guy comes up to me and goes, yeah, you want to give to the Better Business Bureau? I goes, what do I get for that? He goes, well, then you can say you're part of the Better Business Bureau. I said, well, don't you have to be a good business to be part of the Better Business Bureau? He said, no, you just pay us. And then people can call in and say whether you're good or not. And I said, well, that's no good. I thought you had to be at least halfway decent a business to be part of the Better Business Bureau. I thought that meant that you were a better business. But all you got to do to get that little stamp is pay like $10 to join them. Everything's fraud. That's all it's turning out. Everything's turned out to be just fraud.